Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Rivulet table lamp. This is the 272112. Beautiful piece of sculpture that happens to be a lamp, but I think I look at it more as sculpture first. But it's Hubbardton Forge, so it is a lamp. We know that to be true. So it's using this beautiful piece of Turkish marble on the bottom that's all milled, and you can see how beautiful this is. So Turkish marble like this, which is called lilac marble, has a range of variants as far as the colors you can get. You have whites and blacks and browns, and sometimes you can even have these patches of kind of this lilac purplish thing going on. This piece here that I have has none of that. There's really no way that you can kind of get one in one way more than the other way. They kind of come out the way they come out because each one is handmade. Each one is going to be, produced by the earth in just that way. So that's how we do that. So let's kind of move on from there and talk about the design of the piece itself. You have the heaviness of the marble here. All in, this is 22 pounds. It's very substantial. I can barely pick it up. So it's got a beautiful weight to it. So as a tall lamp, it's coming in at 31 inches, 31 and a half inches actually. 31.1, how's that? So 31.1 inches is going to be to the top of the shade there, and it's perfectly weighted because you have the weight of this base here. And on top of that you have this beautiful forging, and the forging is really this beautiful hand-done ribbon of forged iron. And it kind of, let's go around here so you can kind of see it. It looks almost like, the wind kind of whipping a ribbon around the heaviness of the marble, almost like a couple dancing. It's got movement and it's got flow going on. That's what I really like about it. I think I would love this even if it wasn't a lamp and it kind of stopped right there. But I like it more as a lamp because a lot of times I need light. So let's talk about a few other things about it. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of construction. Bottom of this, you're going to have a covering that's going to be a felt, right? The cord on it, if you want to see that, because some people are going to have that question. So this is actually, Hubbardton Forge usually uses a black cord, but in this case they're going to be using a clear cord that's going over silver, and I think that's a little bit more contemporary, because this piece, like I said, is pretty modern. I think this kind of deserves a special place in your home. And it's also timeless. This is going to be just as wonderful and interesting 30 years from now as it is from today. This is the kind of thing your grandkids are going to have an Antiques Roadshow in the future. They're going to be bringing this along. Anyway, let's going to move on to how large things are. So I told you before, it's 31.1 inches tall. The 18-inch diameter is really the bottom of the shade, and I'll talk about the shade in just a second. A couple other things you're going to want to know. A lot of you are going to want to know the distance. Let's put this on for a second. Distance from the bottom of the shade here to here, and that's coming in just about 20 inches. So you got about 20 inches here. The shade itself is coming in about 10.5. The top of the shade is 17 inches in diameter. Bottom of the shade is coming in at 18 inches in diameter. So you'll see there's a pull-down menu that says choose the fabric for your shade. You're also going to see there's a template on the page for this that's going to give you lots of choices to order samples from us of shade materials. You want to zero in on the pull-down menu because that's going to show you the exact ones that come on this shade. That template's on every page of our website, so that's why it's got so many different things on it. But just order the things that are about this, and we're good to go. Okay, this is coming in about 12 inches. This is coming in at 4.5 inches on this tube here of metal, and this is solid, just so you know. They drilled it out on the bottom. You can't see, but they had to drill it out to get the cord. God, this is heavy. Okay, to get the cord and the wire going up. Okay, moving on. Let me talk about what's going on inside of this as far as lamping goes. So this is using an on-off dimmer that's built into the socket. I don't know if you can hear it, but if I turn it on, it makes a little clicking sound. But this is going to be able to go up and down. Hubbardton's limiting you at a 60-watt incandescent. Remember those? 60-watt incandescent bulb A19. We all grew up with this light bulb. However, you can get a ton of light out of this. And a couple ways you do it is you go LED, and a lot of people like to go LED. So these are the phosphorus LEDs that are out there, and these come larger as well. This is an A19. This is kind of the old school LED. We're old enough that we know we can use the term old school in LEDs now. Anyway, these are both A19s. I can find this up to probably a 75-watt equivalent, maybe a 100-watt equivalent in this size. Ditto for here. But this harp, you can see the harp very well. I can tilt it down for you. This harp is pretty big, and this is an A20. And an A20, and there's one beyond this called an A21, and A21 is even a little larger. They're going to fit in this perfectly. So if you want to get a lot of light out of this, and I don't see why you shouldn't, go for the larger bulb. So put it in like an A20 or an A21 LED, and they're easy to get. You can get them at any hardware store, Home Depot, probably even my grocery store here in Vermont. I know I can get these there, so I could maybe even get this there. But these come up to 150 watt equivalent, sometimes even a 200 watt equivalent, depending on if it's like Westinghouse or GE or one of those things. And when we talk about LEDs, we always talk about the color of the light coming out of the LED. These are going to be offered to you in lots of different ways. They're going to be offered to you as 2700 Kelvin, which is like the setting sun. That's a very yellow light coming out. They're also going to be offered to you in something called daylight, and daylight's going to be a very bluish white light, like a December day in Vermont. How's that? Where we have the light outside is on that bluish side. It's also like a hospital waiting room light. So that's that white light. That's 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 on the Kelvin scale. If you want to go warm white, that's what we use in our showroom. That's the light coming down on me right now, and you probably thought this was an incandescent bulb or a series of them, but it's not. That's 3,000 Kelvin LEDs up there, and it's probably like one of these guys. Those are easy to get too. So that's considered warm white, 3,000 Kelvin, and that's what I would probably get for this, actually, for a couple different reasons. I think I want to keep the light coming down on it, and it's going to wash light down on this, and that's going to be pretty important because you're kind of washing the light down in your sculpture. You really want to be able to see this. And I don't want it to be too yellow, and I don't want it to be washed out with kind of a bluish light. I kind of want it to be right in the middle, like where it is now. Plus, you know, the light coming out of here, you're going to get a lot of light coming down. And the nice thing about drum shades is you get a lot of light going up, and that's really important because the light coming up from a drum shade is going to hit your ceiling, and that's why we have white ceilings, and bounce around the room and give you a lot of ambient light. You should be able to light the entire room with this by itself, especially if you come in and use one of these guys. And don't forget, you want to zero in on also, see how that fits nicely? Look, you know, a lot of room up there too. You want to be able to get a dimmable LED. That's going to be pretty important. So 3,000 Kelvin, dimmable. Let's get into metal finishes now. If you are on the HandmadeInVermont.com website, look over in the red tabs with the pictures in them over there. You're going to see a Finishes Help Guide tab. Open that up for me. It's going to be a video there of me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton Forge finishes, how they can look on different types of forging. I'm going to be referencing a chart just down below. So scroll down a little bit. You're going to see a chart. You can click on that chart. So you can click on dark smoke. You can click on soft gold. Doesn't matter. Big page will pop up showing you lots of different things in that finish. You can go back to the chart and you'll notice there's letters A's on them, letter B's on some of those things, and that's going to be showing you this range of variants that you can expect to see on different translucent finishes, but I'll talk about all of that in the video, okay? Okay, showroom. Our showroom in Vermont has over 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures. This is the biggest showroom in the world of Hubbardton Forge. No other showroom is like this. Hubbardton Forge doesn't even have their own showroom. They use this one. What's on display? We have a great tab on that. In those same red tabs, you're going to see a What's on Display page. So open that up. It's going to show you everything we have on display, and including which finish, which shade, all of those things, and what kind of glass it's on there. We're open every day except Sunday, 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have an amazing clearance center. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued stuff, showroom samples. You have to come here to use it. Can't call us or email us about it, but it's definitely worth coming in to look at if you're in Vermont. Plus you want to use the showroom anyway because there's just so much great stuff here to see. Our number in Vermont, 802-446-2400. You can email us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Love to answer emails, and it's sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. So when you order from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is going to be free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. And we're the only dealer with 90-day returns, no restocking fee. Nobody else does that. Some larger items are going to be non-returnable. It's going to be really important that you are looking at the fixture on that page and kind of scroll down under the description. It'll tell you if that is the case. And that's usually for really big, giant, huge fixtures, mostly that go out on pallets. Okay, that's it. Rush program. Let's talk about that. So rush program, Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to go out the door. That's production time before your transit time. You always have to add that on too. We offer a rush program that takes you from that 3 to 4 weeks down to a little under 2 weeks it's a very small addition per line item. So if you have like 1, 2, 3 items, like let's say 3 or 4 outdoor sconces, and they're all the same size and they're all the same finish, that's one line item. So it's very inexpensive to rush those kind of things. Don't be afraid to email us and ask about that. Okay, so that's really it. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. We would love to see you in our showroom sometime. And thanks for stopping in.